This is Phil Stamper, the president of wrestling, and you're watching the 3 Count Podcast. And always remember to trust in Phil.
I'm a pretty boy, I'm stunning. Super speed Sonic, I'm running. Super speed Sonic, I'm running.
Well, we promised you guys that we were going to start doing review shows, and here's the first one. August 1st came. It is today, Saturday, August 1st. Last night was Smackdown, and we are here to do our review show for that. So, as you know, I am Clifford Red Dog Miller, and let's go around the roster. First up, you know him. He's one of the most tenured dudes here, but he naps all the time. He's the man that they call JJ, I call Q, and you all call Napster. Welcome, Napster, to the show.
I think the sidewalks keep me out the street. Dangerous times going on. Can't believe I wasted another 2 hours watching this horrendous, awful, terrible ass product, but it's okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that because I don't agree with that statement. Anyway, next up, he's the man. He's 1,000 years old. Actually, more people owed him money than he owes money. So we got to give it up to the man, the myth, the legend, and the guy who does only fear. Actually, you know what? Death fears him. So give it up to the supervillain, Damien Fatale.
Speaking of death, that fool owes me money as well.
And last but not least, he's always the one on target because we have to wait on him because he is the star of this show. So you guys have seen him on your favorite TV shows as, you know, the Oscars, the Razzies, and even on the Emmys. Give it up for the man himself, Jeremy Showtime Grimes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the face that makes your girl's heart race. Don't forget to social distance because I like to wrestle in front of a crowd here sooner than later. Also, soon to be on Brazzers. I got to get my contract fixed out, but I'll be there.
Nice. I cannot wait to see. Now, you know what? I'm going to wait to see that. So anyway, so let's get into it. We are going to talk about Smackdown July 31st, 2020. So the way Smackdown has been starting ever since Bruce Pritchard really kind of got his teeth like into it now is we have all the superstars like tell their intros and just like, do like their promos right at the beginning. I'm kind of a fan of it because it just kind of gives a different taste to like all the rest of the product where like Raw just does like their thing and then you have something for like NXT and now SmackDown has like their intros of like who's going to be on the show and then they have like the show. So I just want to get a quick round. We'll start with JJ, Damien, and then Jeremy. How do you guys feel about that intro for the show?
All right, so I'll start it off. It kind of reminds me of Jerry Springer in a way. A little bit. Just a little bit. I actually have no problem with it because Jerry Springer was actually entertaining. Even though it was stupid and you knew it was fake, you know, but it was so entertaining. So, like, I kind of like it. And also it gives SmackDown, like Cliff said, its own little difference. It kind of reminds me of, like, Ruthless Aggression, like how Ruthless Aggression era, like, SmackDown had its own thing, like, you know, it had its own little aura, and then Raw also had its own little aura. So, yeah, I had no problem with it. That's just me.
I think what reminds you of the Jerry Springer is the brick background that they're using.
That's what it is.
But I'm gonna have to agree with you. It does have that Jerry Springer-ish kind of thing going on, but it's unique. It's different. It's starting to show off in a different, like, you know, different tone. So, and it's kind of like you know, like JJ was saying, it's giving it its own personality. Like it's separating it from Raw and NXT. So, you know, I fucks with it.
Jeremy, what's up with you? What do you think of the intro for SmackDown?
Well, I'm here for wrestling. If I wanted to watch Jerry Springer, I would just tune into the Jerry Springer show, which has been on like forever, I guess. But I'm here for the wrestling, so as different as it may be and everything, I just feel like they're trying too hard.
Yeah, I can see that. I just like the identity thing. I think that's what does it for me. It's just because every show has like the same way, right? Like where Raw will start off with like the, hey, here's this person walking to the ring, cut generic promo, get the crowd into it, and then walk off, and then like there's a match. Or like AEW will be like, hey, we're gonna start off with a match, and then we'll go into a promo. Or like NXT, they kind of vary it every once in a while, but I think having SmackDown just start off with like their main players right off the jump, and then we get into like the show. I don't know. I kind of think that's kind of cool. But speaking of match, so the last two people to give their promos, Grand Metalik and AJ Styles. That's who started off the show. So we have the Intercontinental Champion versus Grand Metalik for the Intercontinental Championship, which Grand Metalik had earned his right to face AJ Styles. Personally, myself, I thought this was a solid match. I thought it was great watching it. The story being told that AJ Styles was going to work the knee because obviously Grand Metalik is known for the ropes and he's the king of the ropes and all this extra verbiage for him. But I really liked how this match actually played out, man. So, Jeremy, what was your thoughts on the match since you're here for wrestling?
Yeah, so I want to start off by saying that, screw the guy that went ahead and leaked the photo of Grand Metalik winning the title. Because I think he was like justly deserved to win it. I think a lot of people forget that Grand Metalik was in the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic and put on match after match of the night every time being on there. I'd like to see a guy that can kind of move a little bit more. Not saying AJ can't move like that, but he isn't a spring chicken anymore. I think the feud's going to be good. I hope they don't kill it off. I know that a certain big guy, we'll use Ibushi's terminology for the man's name, the big guy, doesn't like to use luchadors very well. So I'd like to see Grand Metalik win it. I thought it was a solid match. Obviously, AJ came out on top because, people leak stuff. And then, we've already had the leak of Keith Lee where it was like, well, now we know Keith Lee's going to win and they didn't want to change it. So we got to change this one. But what a solid match to start off the show. I mean, that kind of like that's how it should be. Like, if you go to an indie show, you imagine like the match after intermission and the main event are going to be your like top stars. Like those are the matches you're like, well, these guys are going to go at it. And I'm not knocking anybody else on the card or any other match on SmackDown, but it was a solid match. I enjoyed it. But yeah, screw the guy that leaked the photo.
So, Damian, what was your thoughts?
I have to agree. Very, very solid match. Very fun. Grand Metalik did his thing. In my opinion, proved that, he can be a champion. Of course, AJ Styles always doing his thing. Very fun to watch. Like, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it a lot.
You're the last one, JJ. You know that.
All right. So, hate to be an echo chamber, but it was a really solid match. I enjoyed it, even though I kind of already knew that AJ was going to win because, let's be honest, the old man doesn't like luchadors all that much unless you're Rey Mysterio. But then again, yeah. So it was a good, solid match. Kept me entertained. But, yeah, I kind of expected AJ to win just because it's AJ and also, Vince doesn't like luchadors.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree, and you guys all do bring up solid points. Like luchadors just aren't really well used in WWE unless like you're Rey Mysterio, and then even at that, man, like Rey Mysterio's like his world championship run wasn't really well known, and then his WWE championship was a joke. Like, let's be real, like he held it for what 2 hours? Like he went to the beginning of Raw and then lost Cena at the end. Yeah, I feel where you guys are coming from. So next thing on the list, man, we saw image of Shorty G. He was just standing there, like kind of getting himself ready. Baron Corbin then came through and talked to him. I think I'm kind of upset with this, but I'll explain why. So Baron Corbin then talks to Shorty G about like being friendly with him and stuff. And Shorty G was like, well, ever since I came on the show, you've kind of been a jerk to me, calling me short, blah, 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 blah. And Baron Corbin tried to flip the script and say it was like just him, like the way he is, but that he wants to start paying money, talk about cash. Rules everything. And it was just, to me, it's just, if this is what we're doing, like, I'm happy for Shorty G that he's going to get on the show, but I'm kind of mad because they're going to make his character, like, it's all about, like, and honestly, like, we talk about it all the time, we kind of joke about it. It's all about the money, like, not so much about the exposure, it's about the money. And so seeing it as kind of like work out where Baron's new stick is going to be, like, he pays wrestlers to go take out other wrestlers. I don't know. It's kind of heartbreaking to me because I'm like, Shorty G has so much more potential but at least they're starting somewhere with him, I guess, now, instead of just like, hey, I'm a short guy, gonna overcome all these angles. So I don't know how I feel about it, but we'll start with Damien. Go ahead and let me know what you think.
So I know we're going to talk about what happened later, but it got me interested. Like, it's one of those where it was like, all right, so either he's going to listen or he's going to tell him to kiss his ass. And like you said, it's giving Shorty G some more exposure, which the man does deserve it because he, like you said, he's very, very talented. Is it the right angle to go? I guess we have to see how it plays out, like in the long run. But I mean, look, the man's on TV, so I mean, I believe he's probably happy either way. He's working.
You're right.
He's not catering.
JJ, what's your thoughts?
All right, so let's be honest. The old man, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, fucked up, destroyed Chad Gable. I'm calling him Chad Gable. Chad Gable's babyface push. It actually could have been really good. You know, the underdog. I didn't like the little short thingy, and then it's like Shorty G, and now it's like a whole – that was stupid. But his babyface push could have been good, like overcoming the odds. But they ruined it. And knowing WWE, they're probably going to ruin this. Corbin, yeah, I don't like – Corbin, he does a good job at being a heel because I don't like him. But, like, I just don't like him. But yeah,
hey, he's doing his job though.
I admit he's doing his job, but Corbin has that type of heat where it's like, get off my screen.
Is it go away heat? Not really.
Yeah, he's got go away heat. Yes,
but I mean, it's heat.
But yes, I have no faith in this Chad Gable push just because of the simple fact is, what did they do with him before? He was right over there in Titus Catering. He's probably going to be back there again. But the only plus side is we're probably going to get a Matt Riddle Chad Gable match.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Jeremy, what was your thoughts on this little promo?
I hate to disagree with you guys, but I'm going to disagree. I actually believe that this angle with Chad Gable is his name because he is a wrestler and he is talented. And just because he's short does not mean shit, big man. Anyway, I believe it's going to take Chad Gable to the next level. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be with the WWE or NXT, but I think him doing this angle where he is going out and, yes, it is all about the money because at the end of the day, we don't do this just to go out and be like, wow, I took 20 bumps out there, landed on my neck a couple of times and did it all just for that exposure, the money's the nice incentive. And who pays better than the WWE? Nobody. So, one, we get Chad Gable versus Matt Riddle. That's going to be amazing. Instant classic in my mind. Two, amateur wrestlers. Chad Gable was in the Olympics. Matt Riddle is a former MMA fighter. It's going to be great. It's going to take Chad Gable to the next level, though. He's going to become Corbin's little lackey. Corbin is going to excel with Gable. And then at the end of it, we're going to get Gable versus Corbin, which if you tune back into NXT, whenever they did wrestle each other previously, it was a good match. One of Baron Corbin's best matches. Now, I'm not saying I dislike Baron Corbin because watching him from long string bean hair to shaved look, Corbin has elevated his game so much. And I believe that he's taken all the right steps. And yes, he has that Elias and NXT go-away heat. But at the end of the day, that's still heat nonetheless. And he's doing his job.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you, right? Like, I don't like Corbin because he's so good at his job. Like, he gets me to not like him. I think my bigger problem is just like when Chad Gable, right, was like wrestling, we all saw it and we all saw like how great he was, and we all know how great he is. I mean, especially when he was American Alpha, was American Beta, I think is what they call the second rendition, and then like he just kind of like faded off and like really wasn't doing anything. And then they brought him back and they were like, hey, we're gonna give him this new stick. And then they called, and then Corbin like started with short Gable, and then there's Shorty Gable, and then Then Gable changed it to Shorty G, and I'm like, cool, whatever. And then like he started excelling and doing well, and I was like, yo, I'm really looking forward to seeing you like as like this big baby face, especially like during the Survivor Series matches, and then moving on. And the next thing you know, it just kind of like fades off, and it's kind of like part of the Vince 3-week push deal, and I was kind of like, it is what it is. But next, what we did have right was Jeff Hardy came out, cut his promo about fighting his demons, and that even though he's overcome his challenges and stuff, and then maybe he might be an alcoholic, but he's much more than that, and he's got so much momentum on him since the bar match with Sheamus, which he won. It was a good promo. I really liked it. It was good, like typical babyface promo. Baron Corbin then came out, and of course, the Baron Corbin heat came along. I gotta add this, right? So this was a theme throughout the whole show, and I really didn't like this, right? Like when AEW introduced like people in the crowd, right? They had heels and they had faces. So people who would cheer, people who would like boo, right? When WWE does it, everybody has the same tone, and I hate that shit, right? Like I cannot stand it because it's like not every single person, like even Baron Corbin, as much as people did not like him, not everybody booed him because they really did some people did like him. And I feel like WWE is like, he's a bad guy. To everybody to boo Baron Corbin immediately as he enters. And it's like, not everybody's like that, man. Like some people like Baron Corbin, just like people didn't like John Cena. But WWE, I think if WWE would have had it today with John Cena, it would be this awkward like cheering of the crowd where we would be like, not everybody likes John Cena. Like we know that by looking at the internet. Like it's weird to me to see that. But anyway, Corbin came out, he cut his promo, and then Drew Gulak came out and defended Jeff Hardy's honor. And then there was a match between Gulak and Baron Corbin, which then we had a couple run-ins, right? So Matt Riddle came out to kind of like distract Corbin. It didn't work. Drew Gulak then ended up getting pinned by the end of days. And then we saw, I'm not going to lie, this was the best suplex like I could ever say in my life, right? Chad Gable, Shorty G, whatever you want to call him, came in and did the chaos suplex to Matt, and Matt sold that thing beautifully. And I just have to say, man, like Gable he's just a freak athlete, man. So like this whole segment to me, the match, I can give or take. It really doesn't matter much to me. But I'll start off, Jeremy, with you. You can talk about this whole thing from Jeff Hardy all the way to the end where Chad Gable does his money symbol. He does his Baker Mayfield impression.
All right.
Oh, sorry, Johnny Manziel. The Manziel impression.
Okay. Thanks for interrupting me, Cliff. That's very appreciated. Anyway, so Jeff Hardy is only on WWE TV because the big man doesn't want Jeff Hardy to go anywhere else. That's the only reason he's getting any kind of time. They're overplaying this whole his addiction thing. I mean, Randy Orton's been popped like 7 times for illegal substances, and you don't see him coming out crying on the camera going, I have an addiction. I need to fix it. No. Orton kicks people in the skull. Why? Because he's marketable to the big, not anymore at least. Jeff Hardy put his body on the line for a long time, and everybody loved it. But here's the thing. Vince is not invested in Jeff. He's just invested in keeping talent away from other places, which brings me to the next talent, Drew Gulak. I don't understand why Drew signed that big contract. It must just be about the money now because he's not getting any time. He was doing that little thing with Daniel Bryan. It was cute. It was cool, whatever, where, he's like, oh, this is my mentor. This is the American Dragon, and I'm the catch point guy, and this and that. Drew Gulak is a talented individual. So either put him back on 205 Live or NXT so he can actually get his shit in, or just let him go so he can go do this shit somewhere else. The match is a Baron Corbin match. Simple as that. I don't got to say much more. Baron Corbin is your modern-day copy and paste guy. You pretty much know he's going to throw in a match. Love his finish. His finish is always money. It's just I like it. I mean, it's so simple but so innovative at the same time. and he can hit it on anybody. You know, I'm not taking that away from Corbin. You get Riddle that runs out with no shoes on. Still don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. He's not wearing shoes. Cool. And then you get the amazing suplex from Chad Gable, by the way. We're not going to say Shorty G anymore on this podcast. We're going to call him Chad Gable because that's his name, okay? He is a superstar, and we're going to call him like that. I don't think – I can't speak for Mr. Fatal. I don't know how tall he is, but I know the average height of the other three members in this group is about 5'9.5". So we don't have any right calling anybody any Shorty anything because I can be Shorty J, you're Shorty C, and then we got Shorty Napster down there. You know, older than dirt. I don't know how tall he is. So if he wants to chime in and tell me he's like 6'3", and then I won't say.
Oh no, I'm not.
Anyway,
I'm 6'3". But,
okay,
yeah,
well,
I'm not short either. So
there we go. He's not short, so we can't call him Shorty anything. Chad Gable comes out and does what Chad Gable does best: wrestles amazingly. So once again, it just felt like filler TV for me. We're trying to start another feud, but still have Jeff Hardy be relevant on the television, even though Vince has no plans on doing anything with him. And I don't know. You know, it's hard because you start out the show with AJ Styles versus Grand Metalik, and then you give me that. So.
Yeah, you're right. Just kind of go down. JJ, what's your thoughts?
Okay, first of all, I want to talk about the Jeff Hardy angle with his addiction. I just want to get that out the way, first of all. It's freaking tasteless. It's disgusting. It's stupid. It's retarded. I mean, I don't want to say retarded because you know retarded it's a bad word, but yes, it's stupid. And sometimes, like blending in people's personal lives with WWE storylines, it sometimes works, but like a lot of the times it really doesn't work, and like it's tasteless because if we're gonna go back to the bar fight, he's with like a bunch of alcohol. This is the same thing that got him in trouble not even like 6 to 8 months ago. We've already seen this before also in 2008 and done better, by the way. But yeah, I don't like it. It's too. I mean, it's just not good. The Baron Corbin match itself, I was on my phone, so yeah, I was on my phone, so that's what I was doing. And then when Chad Gable turned heel, I was like, oh, okay. Chad Gable, Matt Riddle matches. That's the only thing that I was more concerned about, because they're going to somehow find a way to screw up Chad Gable anyway, because it's not Vince's shtick. He's not a big, sweaty man. I mean, like, Chad Gable, he's built, you know what I mean? Like, he's built, but I mean, like, big, like, tall. Yeah, he's not tall, you know? He doesn't fit that mold. So, yeah, he's going to go back to Titus Catering with the number 1 overall draft pick. Titus Catering selects Chad Gable or Apollo Crews, whichever one you want to pick. But yeah.
All right, Damien, what's your thoughts on it?
So, cheers to Jeff Hardy.
It's so wrong.
That's
So, God, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing about him being like drunk. Like, I really am. So that just is what it is. As for the match itself, I felt like it was just filler to get to the meat and potatoes of the situation, and that's having Gable come out and, you know, attack Matt Riddle to set up that whole entire, you know, situation, which, yeah, it sucks that he's just getting tossed in there, but at the same time, I'm kind of invested. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the heel Chad Gable. So I kind of want to see what he's going to do with this. So I'm interested. I'm invested, but it would be like when you get disappointed on a first date, like you're invested going on the date, but then you're disappointed and then you're just like, all right, I'm good. So I'm waiting for that to kind of happen because, you know, they always fuck up something.
Oh, don't worry. It's going to happen very soon.
So, I mean, I'm hoping it's not going to be after the first date, maybe after the fifth one. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you play a little bit of sad music because it was horrible, but then you get over it really fast. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Once again, to you, Jeff.
All right, so the next thing that we had happen, right, and this was my favorite match of the night. We had Big E versus The Miz. Big E's always just like a big, I don't want to say a goofball, but it's just fun like seeing him come out and like do his thing like on the intro and everything. But then like the match even itself, right, started off with like him kind of being like playful and just kind of having fun up until the point where he got smacked in the face by Miz, in which case then we saw like the bruiser side of Big E come out and start laying in some big hammer shots. Match went back and forth. We saw a couple times where John Morrison got involved in the match, and he got involved one too many times. And then, you know, the ref kicked out John Morrison. So then from there, Big E just kind of took control of the match and then ended it with a submission, his new submission, which I'm not gonna lie, I really like seeing.
I'm Brock.
But so yeah, I guess this is the start of like Big E like getting pushed towards us on a single run. So it kind of started last week when Kofi like had his stick with him. So now Big E's like out doing his own thing. So we'll start this off. And JJ, I know you have this beautiful rant that you want to go on, so let's just let you do it.
Well, it's not a rant per se, but here's my thing. They had a lot of the WWE legends coming out saying, yeah, Big E deserves this singles run. Big E deserves a singles run. You know, just like the WWE legends, you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get into psychology, be like, oh. And yes, we do know that Big E can do a singles run. We saw Big E Langston have a singles career, and it actually wasn't that bad until they trashed it, like the old man always does. But my problem with it is I'm glad he's getting a singles run, but also at the same time, I feel like it's forced and it's not genuine. And I know you guys might be like, well, who gives a shit? He's on TV. He's doing his thing. At least he's doing his thing. But it's also like, it's not genuine. And then I would save this for the rant on Naomi later on the show. But if it's not genuine, there's a disconnect. It's like I'm not interested then because it's not genuine. You're just doing it for you know, the shills and all that bull crap. But yeah. I thought the match it was John, I personally don't like shenanigans all that much. I mean, shenanigans can happen, but like Cliff said, it happened too often, and it was just like, bro, come on. I like his new submission. That was cool, but I didn't like how Miz was getting a lot of offense in. That's my thing, because like it just didn't feel believable because you know Big E's a big dude, okay? So yeah, that's my thing. I'm gonna save my rant for later.
All right, Jeremy, what was your thoughts on the match?
No, JJ, I like you. I like you a lot, kid. The Miz is one of the best entertainers the WWE has and deserves better. Deserves better than having to tag with Johnny Nitro, Johnny Retro, Johnny Impact, Johnny Luchador, Johnny insert last name, whatever. Deserves better than that. I believe The Miz should have another Intercontinental title run. Might just me being a homer for The Miz. To touch on your subject about it not connecting with the fans, I'm going to agree and disagree with you there. For the simple fact that the only reason, and I mean no disrespect because the man truly deserved it, the only reason Kofi won the title is because so many people got behind him and kind of forced the hand. The whole Kofi Mania thing was forced. It wasn't genuine. It wasn't something Vince walked into the locker room and was like, this kid's going to be my next champion. No. Social media played a huge part on that, just like it is now with Big E and Naomi, who both deserve singles pushes. I do not disagree with that at all. But for the fact of it not being genuine or anything, to an average fan, it still is. To people that watch it constantly and like stay up to date with everything like we do, sure, we know the ins and outs of wrestling. We know it's forced. It doesn't feel right. They're only giving it to us because we're kind of forcing their hand. Well, so be it. If we have to force the fucking hand to get what we want, then so be it. We will. And Big E will get his title shot. And Big E will become a champion like Big E should. He was the NXT champion. He is a great singles wrestler. And I firmly believe that he was going to be the reason for the fall of the New Day. And I still believe it's going to happen. All good things come to an end. Big E's going to turn heel because he's a lot better of a heel than he is a babyface. Yes, he's goofy, but if you go back and watch old Big E whenever he was Dolph Ziggler's lackey or even in NXT, that's some of his best work he's got. For his new finisher, I mean, it's all right. I'm not that big of a fan. Putting my leg over his head. I like the big ending better. He could do that to anybody. Why did we switch his finisher? Is it we don't want him picking up Braun Strowman if he wrestles Braun Strowman? He's a big guy who lifts more than anyone else on the roster. It's been proven at combines and, all these other little invitationals that they bring the wrestlers down and they have them work out and everything. John Cena said he's the hardest working guy in the gym and he lifts more than anybody else. So you're telling me that the big ending just doesn't make sense? It does. Him just picking a guy up and putting him over his neck and stretching him like that, it's not going to make sense if he's doing it to Braun Strowman, the Big Show. Like, Braun Strowman might not even get off the ground. Like, what's he just going to, have his arms down and support himself? Well, then now you're fighting the hold, and it makes no sense to me. But if you pick the big man up and you drop him with the big ending, which is solidified already, then it makes more sense to me. I'm not upset the Miz got his offense in because, once again, the Miz is going to go down as the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. He's going to win the title again. He's going to hold it for the longest amount of time. And you can argue with me, but you're not going to sway my opinion on the Miz. John Morrison's better as a singles guy anyway, unless you bring back Mercury, you bring back Eminem. That's fine with me. Shouldn't be with – I love their little cute promos they do, their little music videos. But other than that, Big E is a star. And yes, it's forced a little bit, but it's a star that we deserve. And it's something different that we don't have. And whenever if you told me 5 years ago that one member of the New Day was going to hold the World Championship and win it at WrestleMania, I'd tell you it'd be Big E, not Kofi, and not Xavier. Both talented as hell, but Big E fits the standard. Just because the big guy doesn't believe in him that much, well, that's a damn shame. The universe does. The fans do, which is why this whole backing of Big E's happening. Why the Hall of Famers are coming in, because they see the work ethic. So yes, forced a little bit, JJ, sure. But the moment he wins that title, if it's in front of a crowd, the pop's going to be insane. Twitter's going to go off the chain. Everything's going to go off the chain. So whether it feels like they're force-feeding it to us or not, you're still going to have those average fans that are going to lose their mind and tune in because we have something new on the product.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give it up to Damien.
This was the match of the night for me. Period. I'm happy that Big E had his chance to shine. He deserves it. Very big fan of The Miz. I fucks with The Miz hard. Like the man's been there forever and he's been busting his ass. Like point blank in general. When he goes out there, he puts on a good show. all around, no matter who he's working with. And I love heel Miz. Heel Miz is like perfect. Like there's nothing that needs to be changed about him. So having them two, like Miz got his ass whipped. Like he took an ass whoop, like a good one. And like they went at it. I enjoyed I enjoyed that from beginning to end. Yeah, not big on the stretch muffler finish.
Right.
Should have used a big ending. Would have been more impactful. But yeah, dude, give Big E that opportunity. He deserves it. He's worked hard for it. So, like, I'm for it. Like, yeah, it might feel forced, but sometimes you have to force the hand to do what's right, and so to speak. So, yeah, give this man his opportunity. Give this man the opportunity to shine. So I'm all for it. Like I said, I enjoyed it from beginning to end, and I can't wait to see Big E go out there and destroy it.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, Big E he's always been on the rise as a star, and I guess, once he got kind of attached to the New Day, like everybody saw, and I have to agree with Jeremy too. Like if you would have told me someone was going to win the world title, I would have thought Big E over Kofi. And
oh yeah,
I'm so excited for this. So we're gonna jump to the next section, right? We had this short promo by Sheamus, which, by the way, aside from the promo about Jeff Hardy being in his element, which I thought was kind of trashy, is this the new Sheamus look that we're getting? Like taped up hands, like total like I'm rocking suspenders and a bowler cap. Is that like a thing now? Because I don't knock it. I don't dislike it.
He's being cliche. He's being cliche.
I know.
Damn it.
He really is. I'm gonna be honest. This was probably like the low part of the show for me. Like I just didn't care about it, to be real. So I don't know. JJ,
I'll go first. I was gonna say I'll go first.
Okay, David,
I'll be nice.
first.
All right, so I kind of fast forwarded this, and then like the app on my phone decided it was acting stupid, so I had to like restart it, and then it popped up. Yeah, he being so cliche. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Yeah, I don't know. I think in this day and time, it's almost a little bit racist, or maybe not. What's that? Culturalist? I don't know. It's not a good look. Not a good look at all.
I'm just waiting for him to say like top of the morning to be like, oh,
right.
Good morning, David's here. Jeremy, what was your thoughts on this?
Man, he stole the words out of my mouth. It is racist as hell. I'm not holding any punches here, okay? First of all, this is the most racist thing that's happened to an Irishman since they gave Finley Hornswoggle. Like,
right?
It's so distasteful. It's so fucking distasteful. I don't know what goes to – first of all, big man, if you ever tune into this, we live in 2020. The times have changed. You cannot be a racist anymore. We are outing racists left and right and think that we won't out you. It might not do anything for us, but, I mean, we'll still try.
I guess he just missed, like, the Guinness and, like, having, like, a potato in his hand. It would have been complete.
Right.
JJ, what's your quick thoughts?
Okay. I thought the promo was stupid. Why is he still talking about Jeff Hardy? Jeff Hardy already beat you. The feud should have ended. It should have been not a zip. No more. No mas. No mas. Sheamus's look. Yeah, that's stupid. Very, very, very stupid. It's almost as stupid as when he had the little dreadlocks on his beard. Remember that?
No, I like that. Stop. No, I like that. I liked it. I did. I'm gonna be honest. I
like the mohawk. I did fuck with the mohawk.
And I love the.
I did fuck with that.
I
mohawk.
love the braids.
I really did.
No, No. Yeah, like Cliff said, this is when the show started going. It started going really, really downhill, and I was like, yo, this is stupid. I was like, why are you talking about Jeff Hardy? Jeff Hardy already whooped your ass. It doesn't matter anymore. Stop talking about him.
So next up, we had Lacey Evans come out and give her promo about, whatever, about how she beat Naomi, and then she beat her in the karaoke contest, and then there was a match. It seemed like someone who was booking this match forgot that Naomi actually has a finisher and a submission finish to it, so she just kind of got thrown to the wayside, which was not good at all. And I love the fact that Naomi won. I hate the fact of how she won. So that's my thought process on this. So we're gonna start off with Jeremy, Damian, and then JJ. Your thoughts on the segment?
Thanks,
We'll start with JJ and his rant.
All right, let's keep this $1.50. This match sucked. Okay, it sucked. It was terrible. It's fucking awful. Okay. When people were spamming with the hashtag that Naomi deserves better, she does deserve better, but not like this. This was terrible. This match was awful. This match was forgettable. This match was stupid. This match was dumb. This match was every freaking word to describe stupid, okay? It was bad. This match was bad. Was that a botch when she went out, when she slid out the ring and did little flippy a botch?
It was a botch.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh.
Slight botch. I don't know whose fault it was, but it was definitely a slight botch.
I think it was probably Lacey's fault, but whatever. Yeah. How long did this match go? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Too long.
It went about 4 minutes too long.
Yeah. This match was dumb. This doesn't help Naomi in any other way. Every other women on the roster are irrelevant except for Bayley and Sasha. This is dumb. This doesn't help Naomi's case at all. This isn't elevating her at all. This is just making her worse, and I feel like that's probably what
I know they do. It's confusing.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Whatever. Damien, how you doing?
Yeah. I have to agree. I wasn't really a fan of it at all. Damien, man, what was your thoughts on the short-lived match?
That match was 5 minutes too fucking long. It was horrible. God. It was god awful. It was god awful. I fast forward through the most of it, so I ain't gonna lie. You're right, didn't do nothing for Naomi. Lacey Evans needs to go back to being what was it, security guard?
Yeah.
Is that what she was?
She was.
Okay, well, she needs to go back to that because I like her character. Our in-ring work is garbage. That's the best way I can put it. So, yeah, go back to the PC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'll be honest. I really like Naomi's character. I think she's getting stronger in the ring, and especially for the short time that she's been in there. And you can tell she puts in the work. It's just sometimes she's learning a move that she's never taken before, and then unfortunately for her, she catches the bad end of it. Man, I'm so pissed with Naomi because it's not Naomi's fault. I'm not pissed at Naomi. I'm just the fact that she had the loudest pop at the Royal Rumble, and they even brought it up last week on Smackdown. But what really irked me was that they kind of WWE writers kind of shitted on her return at Royal Rumble and then just trashed her return recently and just kept pointing out that she lost match after match. Yeah, but if you guys didn't realize, she had the second most views in the Royal Rumble on YouTube, like for any person showing up, returning at the show, like next to like, you know, Rey Mysterio and Edge. But like Naomi was that chick. She's your top female person that people are invested in, and you know she's a former two-time SmackDown champion. You know she's just been like one of the top characters. And I just get pissed off just like seeing the way they're using her right now, and I'm like, yo, can we just get her like elevated? Because you shouldn't be able to run a show around two superstars, right? So Bayley and Sasha, as much as I love them, there's 4 other people on there I could think of that could also shine, right? And I'm talking about the women's division in general, like Asuka, Sasha, Naomi, Nikki, and Alexa Bliss. Like those 4 right there, they are quality people, and you got to use them as quality people. 3 of them are former champions, and we just kind of see them kind of get pushed to the wayside, and it's to me it irks me.
Okay, I'm going into a rant now. I want to understand, because the thing that I don't understand is with Lacey Evans, no disrespect, but I just want to know what Vince sees in her, really, because because she's been on the main roster for about a year now, right? She hasn't ever won a pay-per-view match, ever. She lost every single pay-per-view match she's been in. She's already had she went from heel to face back to heel in a year. So obviously there's something that's not connecting with the audience. She's not connecting. So I don't understand what the investment is with her if she's not connecting at all. Maybe like repackage her, maybe, I don't know, but that it bothers me. And then it's like someone like Naomi who actually does connect with the fans. She doesn't need a repackage, but she isn't used at all, or isn't given she isn't given as much attention as she deserves or rightfully deserves, just because, you know, like her character, the feel of the glow has gotten over. It works. It really, really works. And it bothers me. So yeah.
I feel you on that. So we're gonna move on to this next section. I'm just gonna put in a big block because like it all kind of accumulated in one segment, right? So let's start off with Otis and Mandy finally made their returns after we've talked about them not being on TV for weeks. And the other part was Otis returned without his briefcase. So is he still the Money in the Bank winner? Who knows? Anyway, so Mandy and him were cutting this promo about things that they're going to do. They were talking about eating peach cobbler. Hint, hint. But as like the match, or as the promo continued on, we saw that you know, Mandy told Otis like, "Hey, you go get ready. I'm gonna go get ready, and then we'll leave." And then we saw Sonya Deville show up from behind at the end. So we cut to commercial break. We come back. Mandy's getting ready, and then Sonya just lays in an ass whooping, right? So puts makeup all over her face, cuts her hair, you know, goes to shave it, but then like that officials came in and stopped that all from happening. And then we went to see Mandy was being then attended to by officials and personnel, and Otis and Tucker, who I'm glad to see that Tucker finally made his return to TV after months of not being on. Ms. Morrison then jump in with Kayla Braxton, who's like breaking news. They all make like hair pun jokes, which I'm not going to lie, I kind of dug. And then we saw like Heavy Machinery versus Ms. Morrison kind of tag match get teased. Couple questions for me that I have to ask. One, where was Mandy's shoes? Like when she was getting this ass whooping, like she just wasn't wearing shoes at all, and she just, you know, got trashed. Two, I needed more hair jokes. I felt like there wasn't enough. I needed more of those. And then 3, I'm glad to see that we're actually having the return of Heavy Machinery, quote, quote. but I really want to know about where was Otis's briefcase. Like, those are things that I need answered. Hopefully next week I'll get those answers, but we'll see. Hopefully they didn't like forget and just tell him like, oh yeah, we don't have you with us anymore. So let's start off. JJ, I know you're grabbing your face, man. What do you think?
Okay. First of all, I'm gonna put the pros and the cons, okay? Because I want to be objective about this. The pros were finally, or as The Rock would say, finally, finally we're getting this storyline with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose after like 4 freaking months, 10, 11, 12. I don't care how long. It's been too long. And another pro. Sonya beating up Mandy. That was great, and she started cutting off her hair, started trashing her face. I thought she should have shaved some of her head off, just because it would have made it more personal. But then I guess Mandy has to yada yada. But it would have been good. All right, now my cons. Why isn't Otis on TV more if he's your Money in the Bank winner? He's your Money in the Bank winner, and he doesn't feel like it anymore. He's never on the show. It's stupid. Why? Just why isn't – that's the biggest problem. You don't show Otis on TV in weeks. He's supposed to be the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. And it just – I forgot that he was even the briefcase holder. And before you mentioned it, Cliff, I forgot that he didn't even have it on the show yesterday. Could have fooled me because I didn't think he was the Money in the briefcase holder. Stupid. That's stupid. But the only good thing is that they're finally doing the storyline with Sonya and Mandy, which should have happened months ago when they first pulled the plug on it. So that's my thing.
It makes me feel like they don't have something planned. They didn't have anything planned for Sonya after the couple matches that they had with Mandy, and then they just terminated it. But they didn't have any plans for Sonya. But they had it for Mandy, obviously, because they're going to continue on the story. But they're not having anything for Sonya afterwards. She didn't move on to another opponent. Nothing. It was just she was in the background waiting for Mandy to open back up so that she could attack her again. It's very weird to me. Damien, what was your thoughts on it? For those who don't know, they didn't see the podcast or they're not watching. Yeah, he's just giving us the bird.
Yeah, no, fuck that whole angle. The best part about it was her getting her hair shaved, and it didn't even get all the way shaved, so that's where the disappointment came in.
Thank you.
The whole thing was stupid. Whole thing, dumb. Like you said, there's no briefcase. What the fuck? I thought this whole Sonya Mandy thing was over with. I even forgot that was a thing. If you want to keep it honest, you want me to tell you what the most entertaining part about that whole entire thing was? Miz and Morrison making fun of the situation. That right there was the best part. That in the end. And I was mad because I didn't skip over that part.
I'm not gonna lie. When they came out, they're this situation is getting a bit hairy. Yeah, the buzz is really driving this right now. It's just all the fucking puns, dude. I was I'm in. I was I need more of these.
No, it was great. No, that was the greatest part of the whole entire thing.
I wish so when Tucker goes, hey, you too. I wish John Morrison would have said, all right, and this is the part where we fade to black and there's walk off the screen. Y'all would have. This is the part where we fade to the next part. Back to you, Michael, and then just walk off. I need more hair jokes. It's just like a Christopher Walken's his SNL skit about having more cowbell. That's what I needed. I needed more hair jokes. Look, I got a fever, and the only cure for that fever is more hair jokes, and I needed that. Okay, they missed out.
No, that was like I said, that was the best part. That and then when it ended. You know what? I've never been more happy for a commercial break.
Just the other part too. I was now I just want Miz to make a joke about to Otis and be dude, your hair's longer than Mandy's now. I need that joke in there somewhere.
It's probably gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It probably is. It probably will be.
All right, so now we get to the main event. This was a big match. Nikki, after winning against Alexa Bliss, her best friend, quote unquote, she gets the roll. She got the roll up. She gets the match, and Bayley gave it to her this week. Okay match. I don't want to say it was great. I don't want to say it's bad. It's just kind of like in the middle. I thought it was interesting with the roll-up sequences that were going on. I do. So this is like the hit or miss, man. Some people like it. Some people don't. I like Bayley's new finisher. A lot of people, I've seen people even like Wrestle Talk, like talk about it. They don't like it. Me personally, I'm okay with it. Like I dig it. But it wasn't – that was like small compared to what happened at the end. So let's talk about the match. We'll talk about the final angle, and then we'll wrap it up. So like I said, the match I thought was good. So but Bayley ended up getting the win with her finisher. So, JJ, what was your thoughts on it?
All right, so this match between Nikki and Karen, what was I like the little roll-up sequences. It was cool. Bayley's new finisher, it's better than the Bayley to belly, whatever. It's better than that finisher. Because it kind of looks like it hurts more. Because the Bayley to belly finisher was really bad, honestly.
It was so lame. I'm sorry.
It was very lame. And it's like, oh, this is a finisher. Doesn't feel like it.
Doesn't feel like it. Everybody got finished by it. It's equivalent to Lacey Evans' women's right? Like people like when Becky first like got hit with it, she didn't know it was like the finish, right? She just thought it was a regular punch. And it was like, no, that's her finisher. It's just a right hand punch. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, at least like with the women's right, if you sell it right, like Sasha Banks does. Love Sasha, but like it looks deadly. Like, but yeah, her new finisher, it looks deadly a little more than the Bayley to belly.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I'm not gonna talk about the ending yet because I want to make sure Damien gets his thoughts first. But yeah, it was cool.
Damien, thoughts on the match?
Okay, so the match itself was. See, I like Nikki Cross. That's the thing, and I like Bayley. Like the match wasn't bad. Was it main event quality? No. Would have been more mid card. Like Big E and Miz should have closed out the show. If we're gonna keep it, as your brother like to say, JJ, a stack. So, like it was alright. Like I like the finish. Like Nikki losing, getting pissed off. Pushing. Like not pushing her like she's gonna like a heel turn, but more of a push. Like I'm pissed.
I'm upset. Yeah.
So I kind of like that. So like I said, match wasn't bad. Better than Lacey and Naomi by far. Like by far. And yeah. I can't wait to talk about the very end of the show though, because that was like my favorite part.
Yes, me too. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So what happened, right? And that's what you guys are probably trying to figure out. Or you have already seen it, and you're just coming to hear what our opinions are of it. So what happened? So after the match, Nikki obviously be distraught because she lost the match. Then Alexa Bliss went in and tried to console her, and Nikki kind of shrugged her off. And then eventually, like, Alexa was like, hey, it's okay. You'll get another shot. Let's just, let's get up. Let's get ready to go. Nikki pushes her and then goes, I'm out. And she walks out of the ring, right? And she takes off up the ramp. So now all of a sudden you have Alexa Bliss standing in the ring. Lights go out. Everything fades to black. Who should show up but The Fiend? Bro, this felt like a horror movie, and I was all about it. So Alexa Bliss is sitting in the middle of the ring. The Fiend is now circling her slowly, gets down on her level, just kind of stares at her, and you could just see the look on like Bliss's face was just like, this is it. I'm done. And I really felt like every person that knew that Jason was coming, like that's how they felt. That's the look that they had. Just that fear of like demise. It was just it's gonna be the end. So Fiend kind of plays with her for a little bit, takes the hurt side of the glove. We got to make sure we emphasize that, and then slowly attacks Bliss until like a couple inches, and then locks in the Mandible Claw, puts down Bliss, and that's kind of where he kind of ended, right? Bliss was just hanging on to the Mandible Claw, but then eventually she gave out, and that's how we ended it, with the Fiend laughing. I have to say, man, I'm so intrigued by what's going to be happening. This was my favorite thing on the show. Of course, this is like the best way to kind of end SmackDown. And I never saw it coming, so I'm glad that it happened. I'm going to start off, Damien, I'm going to get your thoughts, and then JJ, and talk about it.
All right, so like I said, like you said, like this had like grade A horror movie all over it. Because I watched SmackDown today instead of Friday, and it was good. Like,
Hey there,
it was
love.
good.
What's
Hello.
your name?
Hold on one second. But Damien.
I don't have you yet. I'll be right back, okay?
All right. So back to what I was saying. My bad. Sorry to interrupt, guys. But no, it was really good. Like, I was invested. It carried off from the Swamp match. I appreciated that. She's got ties to Braun. Like, just the whole angle in itself, and then him actually putting the Mandible Claw on a female, like, it gave me goosebumps. Like, my kid and my wife were watching it with me, and even they like stopped doing what they were doing and was invested. So I am very, very looking forward to seeing how this all plays out.
All right, JJ, what was your thoughts?
Mwah, mwah, mwah. This was beautiful. This was exquisite. This was extraordinary, spectacular, whatever you want to call it. Okay. This was great. This was marvelous. This is easily the best thing on this show. Easily. It's not even close. Alexa Bliss. I have no cons. There's no cons. All pros. This is great. Alexa Bliss, she sold it. She sold being terrified to the point where I felt terrified. That was great acting. Braun circling the ring like Jaws almost.
You mean Bray?
It was great. Like, and she's just terrified. He's just circling and I first thought, oh shoot, is this how we're gonna heel Alexa Bliss again? Is this how it's gonna happen? Like, is this like him just turning around and like doing something or something, Mystique or whatever, and she turns back into a heel Alexa Bliss. But then he just had the glove, and I was like, okay, what do you have to do? And he just went boom. I was like, oh crap. And then Alexa Bliss starts screaming. I was like, oh shit. Like, like he just put a Mandible Claw on a female wrestler, and the show just fades away as he's laughing. This is how you build up a feud, even though the feud so far I thought has been trash. It's gotten my interest.
Yeah.
The Braun Bray feud has been garbage.
Oh no, it has.
It's been terrible. And holy crap. Thank you, Bray, for being one of the only bright spots on this show. For making me care about this horrible, horrible feud that could have been so good. But now it's become interesting just because of this. So, yeah, this is great. Fantastic.
I would say I have one con, and then we'll kind of like wrap up this show. So my only con for this show, right? Oh, for that segment in particular was the crowd, right? The crowd don't need to be saying anything. Like, they're sitting like everybody unanimously booing because the PA. It goes back to Kevin Dunn, man. Like, yo, like, you just go over there and tell the crowd, like, all right, when this happens, you guys boo loudly. Why? If we would have seen a live crowd there and you had no control over the crowd reaction, they would have fucking cheered their asses off. Like, we all know what would have happened because The Fiend is that over. Like, the crowd legitimately would have cheered him attacking Bliss. Maybe some boos, but overall, the crowd equivalency to this would have been how Michael Cole introduced Edge when he came back at the Royal Rumble. Like, no reaction was necessary from anybody, the crowd or the people on the, because we felt it. We already knew what was happening. We knew what was going on. We already had goosebumps. I don't need a crowd to boo to tell me that I don't like what I see, because I did like it. So that was my only con for this whole entire thing. Overall, though, the show itself, man, I would have rated it probably 3 out of 5. I thought it was good. Didn't think it was like overly great, but I thought the angle, at least on the end, was like perfect, was something we needed. So maybe 3 3/4. We'll call it 3.75 or whatever. Close to 4. What was you guys' rankings on the show, JJ?
This was atrocious. The ending saved the show for me. I hate the crowd. The crowd, we're gonna put in quotations, the crowd, because it's not a crowd. It's just, yeah. And also, I can tell they amped up the crowd too, because it felt like 400 people in there, like a NXT crowd, like live crowd, like when they're full sale. No, it's only like 30 people in there. They shouldn't be that loud. I'll give the show a C.
Okay. So 3 as well.
Yeah.
Damien, what about you? You're on mute.
Right. Oops. I give it a solid 3.5. It held my interest. Of course, like the middle, like the end, towards the end was getting a little but that last angle really did save it. So yeah, like SmackDown was a solid 3.5.
So there you guys have it. We thought overall, 3.5. We thought it was a pretty good show. I thought it was a great show. But that does it, man. That's our first review show. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, go on ProWrestlingTees.com right now / the 3 Count Podcast. Go buy our merchandise. Please show us some support. Go to Twitter at 3count_pod and Instagram at 3countpod. Please show us some love, like, subscribe. You guys are going to be seeing all these videos come out, man. We have interviews still coming out, bi-weekly, every Wednesday and every Friday. And then, of course, we always have the Sunday show that we love to do. So, guys, please go out there and show us the support. We love you guys. I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller, here with the old man Damien Fatal, here with the young one, the Napster, as well as you saw earlier, Jeremy Showtime Grimes. He has a show actually that he's doing, so he was able to join us for part of it. But guys, we love you and thank you guys so much for viewing this with us. And so tune into the next episode, and like always, be there or be somewhere else.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, this is Jeremy Showtime Grimes here to let you guys know that you need to check out the best podcast on YouTube or any platform possible. I'm talking about the 3 Count Podcast. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, all at the 3 Count Pod or the 3 Count Podcast. You will not only find me, but you'll find the Red Dog, Clifford Miller. You will find the Icon, Chaz Evans, and you will find much more great content. You'll see a lot of great people, and if you don't, well, that's just too bad for you. So be there, or you know what, be there, not anywhere else, because it's time to show up and show up, baby, and it's showtime. There you go, Cliff.